Imagine your speakers have a frayed wire. There are moments when the frayed wire is in perfect position to still allow sound to pass through, and music is coming through and everything's great. But something shifts and suddenly the worn wire produces static. All of a sudden, something shifts again, and everything has gone from simple static to overwhelming, excruciating noise. Welcome to autism. Autism is a complex neurobehavioral condition that includes impairments in social interaction and developmental language combined with rigid, repetitive behaviors. It has been discovered that the almighty mitochondria may have a prominent part to play in autism, with 80% of autistic children having blood tests indicating mitochondrial dysfunction. Today, I will be discussing the mechanism by which mitochondrial dysfunction translates to autism. It has been discovered that children with autism have decreased levels of electron transport chain complexes in the frontal lobe, temporal cortex, and cerebellum. The cerebellum was found to have decreased levels of ETC complexes 3 and 5, while the frontal cortex was reported to have reduced levels of all complexes. Complexes 3 and 5 are protein complexes in the inner mitochondrial membrane. Complex 3 transports electrons from mobile electron carrier ubiquinone to cytochrome C, pumping 2 protons across the inner mitochondrial membrane. The decreased levels of complex 3 would prevent electrons from advancing along the ETC to reduce oxygen, resulting in the failure to pump protons to generate a proton gradient across the inner mitochondrial membrane. This results in the failure to generate ATP via complex 5. Complex 5 is ATP synthase, which generates ATP from ADP and inorganic phosphate via harnessing proton motive force from the proton gradient. A decreased level of ATP synthase would thus mean a decrease in efficiency of ATP production, thus decreasing total ATP output of the mitochondria. This ATP deficiency is detrimental to the neurological function of the brain, as neurons require a large amount of ATP for the formation of neurological impulses. This could lead to severe neurological impairment that is characteristic of autistic patients. The identification of mitochondrial dysfunction proposes mitochondrial therapy as a potential direction in autistic therapy. Perhaps via the supplementation of functional respiratory chain complexes into the mitochondria to replace dysfunctional ones, it is possible for the mitochondria to recover its full respiratory potential so as to restore neurological activity. With continued progress in research and tests, it's hopeful that the symptoms of autism can be progressively tackled in the time to come.